Hey everyone, it's Terry with Early Girls Yarn and also Early Birds Yarn. I should have been more thoughtful with my introduction, so you'll kind of see two. I am actually coming and re-recording the intro after I recorded everything else because I didn't do a good job. Okay, so I am Terry. I am Early Girls Yarn. was podcasting more consistently, but it's been a few years now. I am getting back into it, but I also now in that time frame don't do my loan officer job anymore. I have started dyeing yarn. So I dye yarn now, and that company is Early Birds Yarn, and it's E-A-R-L-E-Y, Early Birds Yarn. We have an Insta with very few followers because I just really started doing this maybe a month ago, but I have only sold to like my local people that I know. Oh, and I have one online sale to Heather, my good friend. I'm just starting. So I don't have all the things with it yet. But I'll get there, right? Like it will come. That's a big 2024 evolution that I'm hoping to happen. So you can find me at E-A-R-L-E-Y Girls, G-I-R-L-S Yarn on Instagram, or Early Birds Yarn, E-A-R-L-E-Y-B-I-R-D-S Yarn on Instagram. So I'll put those down below as well, but I did want to do a better job of that introduction. I will be sharing normal knitting because as you can see, I am a yarn hoarder. So I have plenty of projects using plenty of beautiful yarn that I have here. So I'll still be knitting with everyone else's yarn and also with my yarn. So both will be happening, both will be shared on this channel. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys and getting to know you more and for you to get to know me more. All right, so enjoy the show. Bye everyone. Hi everyone, it's Terry from Early Girls Yarn. Thank you, and welcome back. Yeah, it's been a long time. I picked it up a little bit. I think it was during October, maybe that was Vlogtober, and I see that there's Vlogmas coming up for Christmas. I highly doubt I will be an everyday vlogger because I tried in October and that's just not conducive to what we do and what I do because I'm kind of home a lot and it's not super exciting. But my friend, we're going to call her friend, Shauna Stitches, she's a YouTuber and I've been watching her for a while now. She did a planning video about her Advents, and if any of you have been following it all on Instagram, you know I love and adore Advent season. It's like I knit all year round, but this, for some reason, there's just such an excitement about Christmas anyway, and then also about Advent, and I just love it. I love it. So my quiet time is my Advent time, and then I make sure I do my Advent knitting. Now, my Bible study, I don't like knit during that, but I also listen to like Rick Warren. I listen to a lot of his stuff online. He in particular is probably my favorite online person. But then the Bible study gals, I'm in a Bible study now. They shared some YouTube. They read the Bible. They challenged us. So next year I'll be reading through the Bible in a year. And so some of the ladies shared some of their resources. So I think I'm going to be listening to some of that in December to decide which one I want to do when I start my challenge in January. So that's just a whole bunch to kind of go into and describe, I don't know, why I just love this Advent knitting season. So I'm sure you've noticed this fabulous stack. These are my Advents for the year. Yeah, actually they all are. And some are from last year, but I'm going to be knitting on them for this Advent season. So before we really get started, this just came off the blocking mats like 5 minutes ago. I don't have ends woven in, but this is my sorrel sweater, and I knit it using Dandelion and Daisy's Advent from a few years ago. It was her Anne with an E Advent. I love this sweater, and I really love it with the Advent. So if you're undecided, not sure, and think you might want to do a sweater, I would highly suggest the Sorrel sweater with minis. It's great. I did take notes, so I did use the main color for the collar. When I started this, I actually cast this on a year ago in November, thinking I would challenge myself to get it done in November before I started a new Advent season. Well, needless to say, I got to about here. Wasn't even through the whole yoke part, and I put it down for some reason and just picked it up again. So my original intention, hang on, let me get situated again. A year ago was that I was going to use the main color for my top collar and my sleeves, the ribbing on my sleeves and the bottom. But it was a really light color, which worked for the beginning, but then at the end it did not work. I wasn't sure I was gonna have enough yarn, I didn't know. Oh shoot, I don't have my size memorized. Oh no, I did the 49.5 because you're supposed to have like 0 to 3 inches of positive ease. I ended up with probably 1 or 2 inches. It's more form-fitting than a lot of my sweaters, but I'm here for it. I really like it. So I did record some of my yarn totals, and I will be putting that on Ravelry. I'm hoping. I'm not the best at that, but that's my goal, is to get better. But I only used 8 grams of the main color, and then I'm not going to go through all the 24 colors, but for all the 24 colors, the maximum I used, and those were for colors that were like on the sleeves and the main body as well, was 16 grams. So I had at least 4 grams of every color. Some of them, like near to the top, I only used 12 grams. So I had 8 grams left over. When I totaled all of my leftover yarns, including the main color. So before the main color, I had 158 grams left over. With the main color of 92, that left me with 250 grams total. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with all the leftovers, but they're all in a bag, and I'll be doing something with them at some point. Probably a summer sweater is what I'm thinking. We will see. So that is one good idea for your Advents. But to share a little bit about what my plans are, because this is the Advent planning day. Now, of course, my plans could totally change between now and tomorrow because that's how I roll. I get so excited. The first thing that I can't really share a ton with, I'll share more in the next one. Woolberry did, and it's not really an Advent, it was like a Christmas box, and she's got a spring box. I just signed up for the subscription. I'm going to keep going, but it's like a book club. So there was a mystery book you didn't know about, and then she dyed 4 skeins, which I've already opened 2, because I don't know if you can see that. It says page 246 on it. So each of the mystery skeins correlates with a page in the book. So cute so far. I can't say I'm loving the book, honestly. It's a rom-com, which there's nothing wrong with rom-coms. I love rom-coms, but I'm not loving this one. Maybe it'll get better. I mean, the good part is I did, of course, go ahead and like flag the book. Page 392 is the last page of the book. So to open the last skein, I do have to complete the book. It's now become the book that like I have 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes, if that I wait for Cece to pick her up. So I just kind of skim through it. It's not like a read thoroughly because I want to know every detail. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, I get the gist, but the yarn makes it okay. So, yes, I'm not sure if that's up your alley. It's a totally mystery book. You don't know what you're going to get. I do really like seeing her inspiration, and I'm hopeful that the book will get better by the end. I'm sure it's great for a lot of people. It's just okay for me. But I highly recommend the box. I like the idea of it. I will be getting mine in the spring, and we'll see. Now, if I go through, there's 4 seasons that she's doing this. If I go through 4 boxes and I don't like any of the books, I highly doubt I'll do it again. But I'm giving it a whole year. I'm giving it 4 boxes because books are subjective. So yeah, so this is that's my thing. I'm actually going to try and get it. It's been the book I've read while waiting for Cece, but part of me is like, let's just get it finished before Advent, which is tomorrow. So I'm sure I can get it done because, as I said, I'm not like scouring every moment of it. It is not a Christian fiction book, that's okay. That's a genre that I really do enjoy. So I don't know that I really want to be reading it during Advent, but I do want to see the yarn. So I will keep you updated on that soon enough. Okay, so that's one thing that's been happening, and it is kind of December. You're supposed to open it December 1st. I did it ahead of time because I didn't want it to interfere with Advent, but that's really fun. I'm just going to set this up here for now. Now let's get to these boxes. So some of these, okay, let's just go back a little bit and rewind. For those that are new, so every year I get Advents. Last year I had 7 Advents from Dyers and 3 Advent swaps with friends. I had 10 Advents. I knit up, I think, only 2 of them. I love yarn, which you can see a little glimpse, like that's my mini wall. That's my Sunset Highway that I'll do something on later. I started that in 2019 and haven't finished, but it's going to get finished. And then there's a 17-foot wall here, and that is full of yarn. So I love yarn. Like, let's just go there. I am not a minimalist. I am not one that, I'm okay. I think yarn collecting and knitting are awesome hobbies. I love them both, and I'm okay with that. So this year, I know the stack looks huge. I actually did really well. I bought 4 Advents from Dyers. I'm having some FOMO. There's 1 I didn't get, 2 I didn't get. 1 was Artemis Yarns. Oh, I wish I had gotten hers. And then the other one, I cannot remember the name of the dyer. So if you know, let me know. I think she was out of Montana maybe. And it was like animals out in nature, and her inspiration photos looked awesome. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. Every year I have one that I'm like, oh, the one that got away. But I'm gonna love the ones I got. So I will go through the ones I got, and then every day on Instagram, I'm going to share my countdown and my opening of the bags. And then I'll probably record that for you here and when I do this too. So Instagram's gonna be more like the daily vlog. This YouTube's gonna be more like the weekly wrap up, I think. So without further ado, the first one I got is Suburban Stitcher. I love Diane. This one came undone a little bit. We'll just tuck it back under so I don't ruin the surprise. She theme this year is a very pink, I'm dreaming of a pink Christmas. And of course, everything with her is on point. Here's her box with her pink minis. I did have to rearrange them in order just because I like them all to be neat. Now with her box came a pattern by Telly Bean Knits, and there was a pattern last year by Telly Bean Knits called, oh, I don't remember, I don't remember last year's. I'll have to look that up. This year, I did knit it though. This year, it's called Grand Opening, and that is the shawl. I'm going to talk more about this shawl here at the end. I hemmed and hawed over this because last year, Diane always, well, all the ones I've received from her, it's a fade. She's phenomenal at fading colors. It's like her God-given gift. And last year's was no exception. So I did the shawl with the yarn last year, and I did love it, but I've only worn the shawl maybe once in a year. I have shawls up here. I have a wall of shawls upstairs. At this point, I think most of them are for decoration purposes in my house. I wear shawls, but I have really found myself gravitating towards sweaters. They're just easier to throw on, and or ponchos, like that whole just toss it on and go. Cowls, again, easier to toss on and go. I do wear shawls, but I not as much for me right now in this season. So I'm like hemming and hawing, and I decided I'm going to make a sweater out of this yarn. I don't know which one yet. I'm gonna wait till I open them all up, but that's my plan for the yarn. But I do have a plan to knit this shawl this Advent season. So I'm going to share that here at the end because I want to move over to that side of the desk to go over that with you. So that is box number 1. All right. Box number 2 is the Fiber Fox out of UK, I believe. Now this one, every year I pick one of my Advents that comes in the mail and I open it all up. I just do every year. This box came on my birthday, November 7th. Izzy, my daughter, she's a crocheter. She has made herself sweaters. She is unbelievably knit worthy. Well, I actually knit Cece, my other daughter, because she doesn't wear sweaters. She doesn't wear yarn the same way. She's worn my hats. If it gets really cold, she'll wear a hat that I made. That's it though. But Cece, I made her a blanket for her room when we moved, and she loves that blanket. Of course, Izzy was supremely jealous because she's like, well, why not me? I'm the oldest. I should get it first. I'm like, Izzy, you have a bunch of sweaters and hats and all the things that I've knit you wear. Cece doesn't have as much, so that was for her. Well, let's just say Izzy last Christmas picked out an Advent. I bought it for her to make into the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart. Here's the picture of this. This is the same one I made for Cece. It is super mindless. Once you get, like, the pattern is already memorized once you get going. So I showed Izzy this. I think I bought it in April maybe. And a lot of the designers put like a color, you know, they have like a color scheme, or the colors that they're using, inspiration mood board, I guess. So I showed Izzy the mood board for this. It came on my birthday. I'm like, Izzy, this is the one that I think is going to become your blanket. I started the one from last year and I got like through, I don't know, 7 or 8 colors, and she just was not feeling it. She's like, it's great yarn. I just don't like, she didn't like the flow of it. And I had already, that's actually one of the ones we're going to talk about. I really wanted to use that one for a sweater or cardigan. So I was fine with that. So I ripped that out. We opened this up. I have already cast on the Habitation Throw, but I can't show you because I don't want to ruin the surprise. I'm on day 5 and it's going to be awesome for Izzy. So this one is one that will absolutely get knit during Advent season. I've already pre-gamed it because my goal is to have it completely done for her so she can open it up for Christmas. I haven't really, like, she saw the yarn when we opened it in November. I haven't really showed her any of the progress. I've kind of been doing that on my own. But I think she's going to love it. And she does know that that's going to be a gift, and she's totally okay with that because she knows that, well, she knows how expensive yarn is, but she also knows how much time I'm putting into it, and she is excited. So this is one that is actively being knitted, goal to be done by really before Christmas, so I can gift it to Izzy, and I will share progress with you guys. But yeah, so that's a good one. If you got it, it's awesome. Okay, the next one I got, now this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, so if you got the Sprinkled Fiber Advent and you don't want to have a spoiler, I didn't open anything, but a designer designed a project. She, on the Ravelry page, did not say it was Sprinkled Fibers. I know Lindsay and Marcy, so hey ladies, I know that this is their yarn and I am making this. So excited. So this is, oh boy, now I don't think I have the name of it on here, do I? Oh, Avona, I think it's called. It's Casa Pinka. Can you see that? Oh, I love it. It's not a full spoiler, I guess, because it does not show the colors from the back. So to do this, you need 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn for the main color without the cowl neck. I'm assuming that she knit the cowl neck. I kind of like it's a little slouchy up there. And then 1,400 yards or 4 skeins of fingering if you want to do that. I am doing that. I dyed gray yarn. I think this is so good. So I dyed this, and actually my friend Barb is buying these. She's so excited. She wants to do it too. So she's going to buy these 4 skeins from me, and I'm going to dye up more, which is totally awesome. So, and I'm so grateful. So if ever you see something either on Instagram or on here that I share that I've dyed with Early Birds yarn and you want to buy it, let me know. I am still trying to get the business side of that going. But anyway, I'm grateful for Barb. So that's the colors. At first yesterday when I dyed it, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be quite right. Love it. It's perfect. I'm so excited now that it's dried. So I will be using my yarn plus Lindsay's yarn. This is how her yarn came. For, I think it's the Avona, A-V-O-N or something like that. But if you search Casa Pinka, you will find it. I'm going to be doing that. Now this one, I am not trying to, I will Advent knit every day. I am not going to push myself to get this done in 25 days. I think because of the 4 extra skeins, that's a lot of yardage, along with, if I was only doing that, I could get it done, but I'm doing all these other projects. So I am going to be working on it, but I'm not going to be stressing out about it. But I will be opening the Sprinkle Fiber Advent every day though. She did have some extras. Oh, I didn't even share. So how I roll with my Advents, when I get them, I allow myself, well, I have the one that I open all of it, but then the rest of them, like, sometimes I wait and don't open anything. Sometimes I'll open the extras just because, why not? It makes me happy. It keeps me patient. So I did open Lindsay's extras already. I will share those at some point. I think I've already gave some away during some of my Advent swaps, just because that's what I do. So excited for this project. Cannot wait. So glad that my yarn works so well with Lindsay's too. So that makes me happy. So that is Advent project number 2, because I've got the Habitation Throw and Casapinka's new one. Love it. All right, box 3. This is my 3rd one. Is it my 3rd? This is the 4th one. This is my 4th dyer. So this is Irish Artisan Yarn. I have never worked with this yarn before. It is a new to me dyer. I just adored her mood board. It was about different places in Ireland that she loves and is inspired by, and it is gorgeous. Oh, actually here, I forgot about this. This is, I don't think I'm not. This is the Irish Artisan Yarn. Can you see her mood boards? It was like all, it was so good. So I'm really stoked about this one. Now so she gave this booklet with hers, which I'm not going to show because I don't want to ruin any of the surprises, but it talks about her colors. I got the yak. So I got 75 superwash merino, 20% yak, 20% nylon. I've bought yak minis to dye, which I haven't yet, but I've never knit them. I'm super excited for this. I think that's going to be, I know it's going to be a little darker and moodier, but I think it's going to be great. And then she has a couple different shawls in here that kind of the patterns are in here. It came with it. And it looks like there's a crochet and a knit. I don't think I'm going to be using that. I think I'm going to be making a sweater with it. That's what I'm intending. I will say one of the best things and all of the extras, she has a natural soy candle called Fir, Field Day Fir, and it's balsamic fir, pine, and clove. Let me tell you, since I opened this, like I didn't open anything yet, but I just opened the box. The smell was awesome. This was just top notch. There's a project bag, which I did open, which I'm kind of hiding, so I don't spoil it for anybody because that was an extra. And then I will go through, like, all of these are not in order yet. So I'll go through and make sure I put them in order just because that's how my brain works. This is one that I will not be starting right away, but I will be doing a sweater out of that one for sure. But I'll be opening it every day, of course. But like the box, even the flap, everything about this one, top notch. So I'm really excited about this beauty. Okay. Those are the 4 that I purchased. Now I've got 2 awesome friends that actually, yeah, both of them I did an Advent swap with the year prior. This is one box. This is from my friend, oops, I don't want to show you. I don't want to show my address. I think you see that. This is from my friend Robin from Canada. Love her so much. I did open it up. Izzy, I'll have to find it. Izzy already snagged. There was the cutest bag in here, and it had a dinosaur on it, and it said Kitchenerosaurus Rex. So cute. Of course, Izzy is obsessed with dinosaurs, so she saw it and was like, mine, which is fine. That's okay. It was really cute. So she has some cute extras because she knows a sock ruler. She knows my sock quest this year. And then this cute little bag of extras, which I kind of opened and peeked in, but didn't really open. So what this is, here, I'll show you. So scraps from projects throughout the year. 20 grams is what, like an Advent. But with her, It's okay if they don't match. It's okay. Even if, like, I think only 2 days, I think I did, but she's like, it's fine if it's 3 grams or more because she uses them for a scrappy blanket. So I have like 3 or 4 colors together. And some of them, but most of them are 20 grams. I even put in, I gave her tons of extra yarn because I am trying to process through what I have, but I had 4 50-gram leftovers, somewhere more than that. That was just a beautiful fade. It was gorgeous. So I'm like, this needs to be used. I don't know when I will. So I just sent that off to her. I think I gave her 3 or 4 full skeins. No, maybe 3. I can't remember. But anyway, so our swaps that we do, these are not like curated fades. It's just our leftovers, and I love it. It's a chance for both of us to have different yarns that we might not experience because she's up in Canada. So it was expensive to ship, but 100% worth it. So I know she's got her package from me. I've got her package, but I will be sharing that as well throughout the season. And actually, I swapped with her, and a lot of hers from last year are going to be things I'm using in a project that I will share with you at the end, and I'm stoked for that. My other package is with my friend Meredith. It has not come yet, which is totally fine. I don't get stressed out. I didn't get hers out until I think I shipped it Monday. So hers should be coming tomorrow on the 1st. I think mine might be coming today. I'm not sure. But as I said, I do not stress out about that. Whenever it gets here, it gets here. Like, we do not need extra stress in the season. But I'm just so grateful and thankful for both the ladies. I love sending packages that make them smile. And it's kind of cute because it's a little personalized because we know them. I know them. So it's great. I did 3 last year. I kind of look to do more next year too. So if you're seeing this and you're like, oh my gosh, I have spring and weight scraps and I think that would be fun, let me know. Because we definitely do more than just the yarn. We do some extras. Sometimes it's like thoughtful extras, personal extras. Sometimes it's just extra, like mine this year. I did put a lot of extras in both. Like, I think did they each get a bag? I can't remember, but like I went way crazy with yarn because that's what I wanted to do. And who doesn't love yarn? Like, that's always a go. So anyway, that is that. Okay, now I've got 2 more projects that I'm going to be looking to do. And I know you might be thinking, Terry, this will be 4. Will it be 4? Could be 4 or 5. I can't remember. Advent projects, like, you are insane. What are you thinking? I am a little insane, but in all the best ways. And like this one, I might not get it done this year. This one I started last year and I finished it this year in November, and I love it. Like, it's okay to be excited. I am fine. I've got tons of whips. I'm fine with it. Like, it's fine. I pick it back up and I get super excited, like that Sunset Highway. Now, the only downside about sweater whips, it does fit though, is that my size isn't always the same. Like, that was 2019. That was what, 4 years ago? I'm not always the same size in 4 years, but that one still fits, which is good. But it's exciting when you find one that's kind of almost done and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not going to take any time at all, and I'm going to have a sweater. So I don't stress about that. Okay, so this one will be opened and enjoyed. Continuing on. So far, if we are keeping track, I have already cast on the Habitation Throw. I will be doing Casapinka's new wrap. And let's get into the grand opening. Now that we talked about Robin and the swaps that we do, I'm going to be right back and we're going to talk about the grand opening. I'm going to move some things around so I can share with you and show you what I am doing. Okay, I am back. So let's talk the Scrappy Advent that I did last year. Now, Meredith from last year, hers is actually still up over there. You can't see it. Hers, she dyed and added some of her minis from her mini wall. And it was like a super well curated, well-planned fade almost. No, it wasn't a fade. It was like a solid and variegated to solid and variegated. And I have a pattern in mind for that. I needed some extras. It's the Traveler's Poncho that Dawn Barker released last year, but it needed your main color to be split up into 5, like you take your 100 gram, you split it up into 5 20 grams because it needed extras. And I just wasn't sure about that. The main color is beautiful, but the others, I just wasn't sure about that. So I ended up picking from my mini wall colors that I thought would work so that I could kind of have a flow to it. That is a pattern. My goal is to actually cast that on January, February, and see where I go with that. That's a pattern that I have in mind, but I'm not quite committed yet. I think so. I think it'll work. I just need to get into the pattern and see like, how is it going? Will this work with a solid and a variegated? How does this work? But anyway, so that's the plan with that. But the others, so like my friend Robin, I think this was from her last year, but it's like a fun, multicolored, like self-striping sock extras. Super cool. And then my friend Michelle had all of these kinds of extras from all of her projects, which was just awesome. So I put them in here, and of course that was overflowing with like 50 or 48 minis. So as I was thinking about this year, thinking about and preparing for them, for the ones I did this year and sent out this year, I'm like, you know what? I need to use these. Like, this is silly. I love them. I'm so grateful for them. I love the colors. I love the yarn. Like, let's get going, Terry. So then the grand opening came up. I had already decided to use Diane's kit for a sweater. So this grand opening shawl came up, and then she had the construction that you could see. And if you can kind of tell, there's like 5, you can see where the pink like changes. There's like 5 different sections in the way that it's laid out. Yeah, 6, I guess. So day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I might need to change my order up a little bit actually now that I'm looking at this. I'll go through and rearrange that. But in my head, okay, yeah. So it's 5, and then there's 4 that are together, 4 that are together, 5, 4, and 4. Okay, so I will rearrange the colors a little bit, but what I did was I found like minis that color schemed work together. Now I get to have the joy of doing that again, which is totally fine. But I just went through what I was gifted with them and then went through a little bit of mine to add. But like, here's day 1 through 5. Now I've got to do 4. I'll do that later off screen. Actually, I can do that now. We'll see. Anyway, I will figure that out. But here's the next grouping that I had for the 5. And then here's the next grouping of 5. And then here's the next, it kind of gets darker as it goes, the next grouping of 5. And then here's my last grouping of 5, really dark and moody. So I will take some stills of this as it goes along. And now that I have to rearrange it, I get to play with yarn and color some more today, which is great. But that's my plan because it allows me to use the minis that I traded last year and enjoy them, which I will, and make a cool shawl and feel good about it. You could do this at home with scraps that you have from past projects, like I think any knitter, I mean, I've got scraps all over the place. I'm sure you do too. So this is really nice. She also, Telly Bean, also put on here a couple different things, which I really like for the planning stage. She has a schematic coloring page if you want to do that and you're like more talented than I am. But then she also had a yardage page that she put on her informational thing. So it shows like color 1, you only need 9 yards, so very little. And then it goes down. The most you'll need is the last color, 89 yards, which should be like a full mini. So really excited for this project. I'm now even more excited because I get to play with arrangement and color again because there's an extra section that I didn't realize. So that'll be exciting. I'm just going to push these all over because I've got to restart that anyway. So that'll be fun. That is for sure getting cast on tomorrow. This pattern, I believe, is available to everybody. And the way she's doing it is that there's going to be an email or a release or an email every day with the new directions for that day. So this is one that I plan to do every day. This one and the habitation throw are my two I'd really like to get done. Last but not least, I spoke about the Advent that I ripped out, that I had started with Izzy's blanket and then ripped out. So this is the Spur Creek Farm, which you're only going to see half of it because of the way I have it layered. But this is her Advent from like 2023. So it's, no, 2020, 3 years ago. And I just hadn't used it yet. Was it 2020? It might have even been 2019. I'm not sure. It's been a few years that I've had it. I am absolutely excited. I am making the Radvent cardigan with this one. And you do have the option for this one to hold it with mohair as well. So I dyed some mohair. Now I couldn't decide. So I had like this cool creamy colored one and this really, really light pink. I was weighing more towards the creamy one, but this light pink, it's like a neutral. I don't know. I mean, it is pink, but it's so beautiful. So I think this is actually my winner. This is the one that I'm going to do that with. I wanted to swatch. So I have like these little itty bitty bits and they're like in the blue family of things. That's all I had. These little scraps from when I was doing Izzy's blanket that were leftovers at the time. I used most every skein for the blanket. So that's actually, well, I'll talk about that later, but I used pretty much everything. But I'm like, oh, I can make these into like a big ball and then use this to swatch to make sure that I'm going to like the way this looks with my blues and greens. I think I am, because when you do the mohair, it's so fine. And it is kind of a neutrally, super neutral pink. So I think that is what I am doing for my Radvent cardigan. It's one I've been wanting to make for some time. I just haven't yet. So I'm going to work today on figuring out which size. I mean, I love it. Amba's so good. I mean, it's just a great chart, great schematic. Yeah. So I'm going to play with that a little bit, figure out my size, do a little swatching, but this is not one that I have like a pressure to get done in time. The two I want to make sure, and if I don't get any of them done, like it's no problem. But the two that I'd really like to make sure that I get accomplished are Izzy's Gift, the Radvent cardigan, or no, geez, the Habitation Throw, and this, the Grand Opening, because that's my goal. And the rest I'm just going to work on when I get to it. So that is my Advent plans. Long-winded, I suppose, but hope you enjoyed. Hope you got inspired. Tell me, what are you Advent knitting? What are you working on? What projects have caught your interest? Oh, wait. I will share one more. I'm not starting this, I don't think. I don't think. But the Passiflora wrap looks amazing by Amba. And the one up here that she did with, this was Sunshine Yarns, last year's Advent, which I have. So that will be knit up at some point. I don't know exactly when. So I hope you are having a great day. I hope you are catching the excitement and the buzz that I know I'm feeling right now. I know a lot of my friends are feeling right now for the Advent knitting season. All right, everybody, I will talk to you soon.